Hello, and welcome to the seance room, where we can communicate with the dearly departed and the occasional office ghost. So, how are you all doing today? I hope you're doing all good. I hope the weather is treating you fine. If you're in California, I know it sucks to be here because with all them fires, with all them ash on the vehicles, yeah. So California's burning up again. I think it was like maybe this is like the second or third major fire that burned over 10,000 acres, something like that. Because I know we had one in 2018 that literally burned the hillsides off the 405. And I know it also there's another fire that destroyed everything off the 210 and the 118, I think. But yeah, sidetracked. Um, so, what are we going to talk today? Hmm. Let's. Well, we're not going to talk about anything. We're going to be talking about. Hold on, I'm getting my notes. I need to get my notes. Gotta get my notes. Gotta get my notes. Actually, I'm going to read to you a story from backpackeruniverse. They have a section for ghost stories. And this one is called Taunted by a Demented Spirit in an Abandoned Asylum. I see, said the blind man to the deaf mute. So, let's get started with the story. Now, it's funny for me to be telling this, seeing that I am a perpetual chicken and usually afraid of haunted stories. A few years ago, my stupid brother dragged me along on one of his amateur ghost hunting trips. That does not sound like fun, but continue. I know that makes me stupid for letting him do that, but he promised me a free dinner at my favorite restaurant. So, free food, favorite restaurant, who's gonna turn that down? Not me. Anyway, when we arrived at the abandoned building in the middle of nowhere, I started getting to freak out. We got out of the car, and I saw a rusty old sign that was covered in vines. I went over and pulled the leaves back. The building used to be an asylum, and there was a warning saying trespassers would be prosecuted. Great. My brother might be an imbecile, but he had all those fancy gadgets and ghost hunting equipment. Don't we all? All I got was a small flashlight and a camera. While he loaded himself up with all his swanky gear, I told him that I was scared and didn't want to get in trouble with the law. He teased me and said he was going in whether I followed or not. Gee, thanks, bro. Too afraid to be left in the car alone, I went with him and stayed as close to him as humanly possible, without humping him, I guess. When we got closer to the building, my skin started crawling. When my brother suddenly stopped and told me to hush, my ears opened up twice as much. Then a blood-curdling scream came from within the building. My brother said it was probably a cat, but I nearly fainted. Duh. I grabbed the back of his shirt and he wrestled himself out of my cowardly grip. He told me to calm down or he'd run off and leave me alone. Gee, bro, I'm scared. And you're gonna leave me here? Thanks, bro. Gulping loudly, I followed him through the opening of the door, half hanging on its hinges. I knew that it was nuts because there could have been a psycho axe murderer squatting there. Also homeless people and sociopaths and sickos. So yeah. keep going in. Fair enough. I'm a bit of a drama queen. No duh. But how was I supposed to know who or what was inside? When we get in and started walking around, I just knew there was something being watched. It didn't take long for strange things to start to happen. First, I saw a shadow zipping along the wall to the left. That happens. I screamed, much to my brother's annoyance. He switched on his recorder and told me to shut up so he can catch something. Jeez, way harsh, bro. I tried to contain the occasional squeal and gasp, which was hard. When I looked behind us, at least 75% of the time, I didn't figure on my brother taking off down the hallway and up the stairs. I raced after him, whispering as loud as I could for him to wait. You whispered as loud as you could. Okay, that must be a really, really, really low whisper. He wasn't afraid of haunted stories, but I surely was, and I still am. It didn't matter how fast I went. I lost sight of him. Eventually, I screamed his name out angrily, but he didn't answer. Well, what do you think? That's what brothers do. You're annoying him. He's gonna leave you. He already warned you. He told you. Duh. What freaked me out next was the feeling of a section of my hair being pulled backwards. I spun around squealing, but nothing was there. I've had that happen. Until I saw movement in a large room which seemed to be a recreation area. Thinking that it was my brother, I barged in ready to wail at him. But then my blood sent icicles to my heart. I saw something or someone crouching in the corner. Fumbling for my flashlight and trembling profusely, I trained the light to the corner. I stupidly dropped the flashlight when the figure flew up the wall like a black streak. Oh Lord, that must have scared her. When I bent down to pick up the flashlight, I heard a quiet cackle above my head. Oh snap, it's getting good. I screamed and looked up, but nothing was there. I didn't wait to run out, with or without my brother. It was hard to find my way around in the dark, and I was sure that I heard erratic footsteps behind me. Several times I looked behind me, but nothing was there. I've had that happen to me a couple times, actually. When I finally saw the door, something whooshed through the air. Again, I spun around. Could have been a bat or a bird. Anyways, at first I couldn't see anything, but then I saw the crouching shadow scamper into one of the rooms. Uh-oh, he's back. Then my brother came strolling out of the room, making a scream louder than ever. He stopped and shone his flashlight on me. What's the matter with you? Where are you going? Realizing that it was him, but too scared to go over to him, I pointed to the room and asked, "Didn't you see that?" He told me off and said I was letting my imagination get the better of me. But by that stage, I didn't care. Yeah, well, you're annoying your brother, and he's going to tell you your imagination's getting to the best of you, so yeah. I ran off and yelled out to him that I was going to the car. When I got into the car, I watched the building for ages, seeing his flashlight here and there as he continued searching. What freaked me out the most was the sight of lights in several rooms at the same time. When he finally came back to the car, he told me he didn't see anything. I was so creeped out when I could hardly eat my dinner that night. Uh-huh. So, where is the the demented spirit. Well, how does she know that it's a demented spirit? Like, how? How do you know it's demented? It could have been a nurse. It could have been a doctor. I don't know. But um this story, I give it a 7. Um just for the fact is that I've encountered similar situations on my ghost hunts, and similar, like when she hears footsteps behind her. I've had that happen here in my apartment and in my house, my other house. So yeah, I know the what that sounds like and what that technically makes you feel. You feel like somebody's coming after you. And it actually happened today. I was going for my walk at lunch, and I was walking around the park, and there was no wind, and it sounded like there was somebody walking behind me, and I turned around and there was nobody there. So I just figured it was the office ghost following me. I don't know. But yeah, I give this story a 7 out of 10. Um, it got the 7 just because of the demented, with air quotes, shadow figure running around. And that's why it got the 7. But other than that, I would have given it like a 4. But anyways, I have this story is going to tie you guys over till I get my guest, who's gonna be on. We're gonna record um, for we're gonna record. I lost my train of thought. Duh. I'm going to record an episode with her shortly, regarding things that she's encountered at her home and in general. Now, she's a really good friend of mine. She's my homegirl, and she likes to send the ghosties my way when she doesn't want to deal with them, so she'll send them my way, which is fine. It's like, whatever. The more the merrier, I guess. But, anyways, this is just a little episode till she's ready so we can record, and then I'll upload that one after. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share. We're on YouTube, we're on Insta, we are on Facebook, we're on Twitter. If you have any stories you want to share, any comments, concerns, go ahead and shoot us an email at whattheparanormal77@gmail.com. And don't forget to keep it ghosting. We are now closing the seance room. So, with this coronavirus epidemic that we have going on, you have many celebrities, you have actors coming in and joining the podcast community, and you want to jump into it. Well, if you haven't heard, there's a program that you can use called Anchor, now, which is the easiest way to create a podcast. It's free. Um, there's a whole bunch of creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast from your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your computer. Um, it'll even distribute them for you. So it'll be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast platforms. You can make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like I said, we have a lot of celebrities, we have a lot of actors, actresses joining the podcast community. So they'll be making money because of their followers. Well, you can do it too. You don't, I mean, you could have 2 followers and still be making money. So it's an easy way to join the podcast community because this program lets you um, make money with no minimum listenership. And it has everything you need from podcast program all rolled into one.
If you want to join the community, don't forget to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started. Join us independent um, podcasters along with the celebrities and the actors and the actresses who are on the podcast community. So don't forget, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.